Alright, hello everybody. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. Been using the warm months to do some outdoor rail fanning, and now that we're in the cold weather season, I've started working on the Minecraft world a little bit again. I may have just stumbled my words there, whatever. So, in this episode, this is episode 10, so I'm going to use this episode to kind of show you guys some updates that I made to a few of the stations on the South Station branches, and then I'm going to show you the shuttle that I made in the subway system from South to North Station. So, to start off, we're going to go on the Framingham Worcester line, and we're going to take a look at Boston Landing. I'm currently dealing with a cold, so I might sound a little stuffy. But nonetheless, I am doing this. So Boston Landing, from what I used to have, I used to just have, this little portion here. I replaced the metal bars with glass, since it is a glass hallway. I expanded the platform out because I just looked at it and I decided, you know what, in reality it's a lot bigger than what I had it at. It was ending like about right here. There's a whole other side of the platform that makes it symmetrical, so I wanted to add the other end of it. So while I don't have an actual road to go up to with it, I did just put in the, crossing overhead with the glass hallway. And instead I just have it going back down over here, and it brings you to a little concrete walkway that brings you to these little sand islands here with one single lone large bamboo. So actually, let me turn on night mode here. I forgot to do that. Matter of fact, from looking at the platform, I think I actually forgot to add the lights to this. Let's see, now I put the light in there. Okay, so yeah, I gotta add. Actually, no, I can't put light in here. I just realized that's the reason why I didn't do that. Okay, well, anyway. Yeah, so I just gotta put a few little lights here. There we go. Put a couple little lights there. It's more fun to show this at night because it shows the, it's able to amplify the features a little more, and you get to see how it's lit up and stuff. So next, I did make some improvements to Wellesley Square. So before I had it just kind of built into the terrain, it was just because there's not really a whole lot going on at Wellesley Square, so there wasn't much to actually, do to show. So I just decided to build it in a little tunnel. Actually, I forgot to mention I did make a minor change to Wellesley Hills as well. So when we get there, I will show you guys that. Okay, so coming up on Wellesley Farms here. So I used to have a overpass at this end of the station, but then I came to realize that I actually put it on the wrong side of the station. There is a overpass to get to one side or the other over here. So, coming outbound, you hit it first instead of coming inbound. So, nothing else has changed. I still have the, little brick structure here, which actually I just realized I, gotta get rid of that because, I visited there recently and it's just all open. There's no extra wall there. And by recently, I mean a while back. But I'm gonna keep the fireplace because I like the aesthetic of it, even though there's not one there, like that. So in reality, this will come down and go along a road, and then you enter over here in the middle somewhere. But I just decided to keep it as a basic semi-symmetrical overpass that does extend a little bit further down the platform on this side to take that into account. But generally speaking, that's the only change I made here. So I'll now go down to Wellesley Square. Alright, so here we are passing Wellesley Hills. I did add a wall here to represent the wall that is on the station instead of just the fencing, so I did make a change here too. Forgot about that. And now we are here at Wellesley Square, and I also realized that by making my changes, I forgot to light this place up too, so let's do that real quick. Okay, and snap, just like that, all lit up. Alright, so Wellesley Square, I expanded on the platform, added in the bridge that goes over the platform here, so you can walk over the tracks, get down over here. There's a cave system right up here, so I just kind of carved out a makeshift natural landscape for people to go in there if they wish to explore the cave. But here is the kind of shelter slash bike rack that is on the platform. Little walkway, semi-walkway to get up onto it from the sand. And this is the other side of the platform that has the little glass shelter for people to wait in on the inbound side. So there's Wellesley Square. And the only last thing I did was I made some minor improvements, or not improvements I would say, but some minor changes to Worcester. Okay. Yep, so here's Worcester. People watched episode 1, they should remember this. This is one of those stations that the placement of it restricted me on my space, so I couldn't make it as big and grand as I wanted to make it. But nonetheless, I got the, a scaled down version of the design. So the only minor improvements I made to this were, or minor changes I made to this rather, where I just put in these little blocks here to kind of represent the restaurants that are there. I originally was hollowing this out to make the restaurants, but I realized it was kind of a waste of time and space to do that, especially since the station itself already is scaled down from its original size. I don't remember if I had all this when I originally showed it, where I had like the little waiting area here, but regardless, I do have the the exit to the summit still, exit to the cave, exit to the abandoned mine, and also now an exit to the open valley. I can't remember which ones I actually pushed. I probably should have looked at that video before I made this, but whatever. Either way, there's Worcester again to look at it. Good news, though, for people that were wondering. I had a couple people asking. I do plan on trying to get this world onto the marketplace once I'm done with the North Station branches. That way I have the complete MBTA setup. And then from there, I'll continue to expand, towards the Downeaster, down the Northeast Corridor, west towards Springfield, all the good stuff there. So once I get all that stuff done, I'll just keep updating it as I go, and hopefully they'll let me sell it on the marketplace. I'll let you guys know if I can do that and when it's available. So next we're going to go back to the Franklin line. I made a couple improvements on the Franklin line to Plimptonville and Windsor Gardens. Okay, so here's Windsor Gardens. So the main thing I changed was I took out that other platform that was over here, because I realized I'm not going to be doing that going forward. I'm just going to keep it to however many platforms there actually are, and if there's more tracks than there usually are because of the amount of lines that I'm laying down, then I'll just put like another little white strip in the middle to allow people to get on and off. But overall, I did have a comment recently said I should have made 2 tracks for some of them. Obviously, there's only 1 track at Windsor Gardens, but yeah, that's kind of an unfortunate thing I made the choice on early on. Can't really go back and change that. I'd have to move everything 1 block over, or move everything even more than that over. So I'm just going to keep it the way it is. It's going to be a back and forth one-way track, unfortunately, for every single line, but with some that have 2 lines going through them, like this, in case we have the Franklin and Foxborough line here, we'll have 2 tracks or more. So the other thing I did was, since there is a little river that runs underneath at Windsor Gardens, I just decided to put in this little river here. So we'll have that kind of flowing underneath, and with all those flowers, because after all, it is Windsor Gardens, and they have the flowers kind of sitting there in those bushes, so I put that in there as well, just to give it that little outdoorsy, pretty feel. And lastly, for the Franklin line, I also removed the other platform at Plimptonville. So heading outbound, it's just still that 1 platform on the right side on our way to Walpole, and you can just cross the tracks over here to get to the cave. So it's not really a big deal, no big changes to that. Everything else is normal. And now we are going to take a look at Route 128 real quick. What I decided to do was change just a couple of the colors on the glass outdoor waiting areas. So I put in these little black stone walls and put in some shaded glass. I believe I chose gray or light gray for that. Just to give it that look, to make it look more like what it is in real life, because before it was just plain clear glass and it didn't look right, so I wanted to change that, make it look better. And now for one of the bigger things that I just added. So this was a nice surprise. Pawtucket Central Falls just opened, so I went ahead and added that to this line as well. So let me go teleport to Providence now, so we can get closer to it. Okay, so here we are at Providence. I did change around the middle part of what I had here, because in reality there is the kind of half circle waiting area with the chairs and seats. Before I just had a couple seats instead, so I wanted to make it look a little better. You know, once again, like the inside isn't really the most accurate to how everything really is, but I just put in a couple of rooms and shops with the was it Cafe La France? Yeah. The bathrooms are over there, so we're gonna go check out Pawtucket though. Luckily, I did have this big space in the middle between South Attleboro and Providence to make this. Luckily, I didn't make Providence right here, so I actually had the space to put Pawtucket Central Falls right here. So we'll start over here on this side, on the inbound side. So I did my best to try and recreate the general look of it, including the funky little globe thing that they had laying in there. Someone posted on YouTube a pretty good 3D schematic of it, so I was able to recreate it via that and other pictures on Google, because I've never actually been to this station myself, which is going to be the case going forward for a lot of things outside of the MBTA and Northeast Corridor. So essentially, you have two ways to get in. The inbound South station's right here. You come down. You can look down the platform either way here with the shelter and another shelter over here. There's also a couple other ways to get out on the side where you come up to the grass. And then we also have one of these little ramps here with a fencing on one side and glass to block you from going onto the electric lines. So here's the main entrance to get over to the outbound side right here. So you come up, you can go left or right. I have signs directing you to the excuse me. I have signs directing you to the inbound trains there, and then it directs you to the outbound trains here. So you come down the stairs onto the platform, and you can do the same on the other side. And in between, just this little section here. This is where the elevators would be. I don't want to make elevators, so I just decided to keep it as a block to represent the structure. And then on this side, you have that long ramp that takes you down, or, actually, no, this is the outbound side, that's right. So this actually keeps you more level with the ground that's elevated above the tracks, but I decided just to, elongate it and make it more into a ramp that leads you down to the actual terrain. And, of course, there's a fence between there and the track where a freight train would be. This is the freight track for that area. So yeah, that's Pawtucket Central Falls, a little view from the top, and we'll do a little 3D spin around, take a little look at it. Yeah, so I'm proud of that. I was able to get that done, added in, so Providence line is now complete. I do plan on trying to make some changes to Natick Center too once they finish whatever improvement project they have there, as well as South Attleboro as well. As you can see, this fence didn't really do much as the pig just kind of walked up on it, but at least the electric line is blocking him from getting onto the tracks. Too bad that doesn't actually electrocute. But yeah, once Natick Center is done being updated and once South Attleboro has its updates done, I will try to modify those once I'm made aware. This is South Attleboro right here, just still as the old design. But yeah, so other than that though, South Station, I know they're doing construction there. I might try to do some things to that overhead section at South Station, so I'll go teleport to that now anyway, because we are going to go on to the subway route to North Station now. So this is the grand event of this video, saving it for the end. Alright, so back at South Station. So what I'm talking about is if you are at South Station, you come out, there is actually like more overhang stuff here that's covering a lot of the platform that I do not have here. I just have the bus station terminal. So once I figure out what that all is supposed to look like, I'll probably add it in. I mean, the Train Sim World game does a really good job at showing that in 3 dimensions, so I can just copy it from there and from memory. But I kind of like the way I have it now. It keeps it open, separates it from the main building, and you get this nice glass window to look out of. Lets a lot of natural light in. So yeah. So South Station, not much new to the changes. I'm not gonna really update it too much. Else, just got that little, Dunkin' Donuts and cafe in the middle. So now let's head on down to the subway system. So So, as I'm sure some of you may remember when I introduced the South Station terminal itself, I already had the subway system in the works. North Station is a lot bigger than South Station in terms of the amount of stuff that it's connected to, so that took a while to make. And as you guys may remember, I modeled South Station's look after Downtown Crossing because I always liked the way it looked with the divide separating the platform that only meets at one end or the other and then heads down the rest from there. So we will pretend to be on the subway here, rise a few meters, take some turns, and up ahead will be North Station. I went through a cave here, so I just put some glass in to cover it from any mobs that may be able to get on the tracks. Didn't feel like filling it in, wanted to put some glass in, make it look a little more peaceful. Alright, so welcome to North Station. This is modeled after the Orange Line's North Station stop, with a lot of bright chrome paneling around the edges. Don't really have a chrome color in here, so I went with I believe it's not andesite. What's it called? Diorite, polished diorite. Yep. So separated by this little divider here. You got both sides. I do not have the green line, but if you were to come up here, one of the green line stops would be on this side, and another one would be right across this platform, if I remember the direction correctly. I also have the orange line heading out to Oak Grove from here. I made that decision because of the way some of the stations on the Haverhill Line looked. I needed to have Malden Center and Oak Grove both have the orange line tracks there, so I just decided to extend it out to Malden Center and Oak Grove. But I do not have the stations in between because this is mainly a commuter rail and Amtrak project. The subway system is a little too complicated. I don't really feel like making that. Here is the entrance to the subway area, along with an emergency exit on the side over here. And similar to South Station, I also added that outdoor exit that you come out over here. So just a little box in the middle of the woods, you know, as is in real life, you know, Boston in the middle of the woods. And you just come down and you go through this really long hallway. Come on, get up. Really long hallway, work your way up a couple stairs, turn left, go upstairs again. So you come up to these double doors right here and turn left, and now you're in the North Station terminal. Now there are a few inconsistencies with reality due to either a lack of knowledge on my part or just from convenience of space. But we turn right over here. There is an exit. Of course, in real life, the exits do not lead out to a vast Iceland, but this is where one of the exits are, so you can come in to the station. Heading straight over here, I don't actually know what's up these stairs. I know there's some kind of store, but I know to the left is a restaurant, so I just, you know, put in a little waiting line where you weave around, and then you can come in here. Here's where they'll greet you to sit, put some booths in there, some higher level seating areas, and then here's this little seating area that overlooks the actual terminal itself. So here's a look at the terminal. As you can see, we have some waiting benches there, that little convenience store in the middle, the exits that lead out to the actual platforms, and this glass hallway up above that you can look at underneath the main hallway out there. So, we'll go take a look at the stairs that I built over here. So, just come up, and I just put a store in. Whenever I look up here, it looks like I can see some kind of mannequins or clothing on display, so I just put the armor holders there, along with one of these, just because why not? You know, just to add a little visual flair to it. So these are the shelves for you to shop, and the little checkout counter there with a chest. I put random chests all over the maps and places to put food, weapons, potions. So if anyone ever plays on these maps, you can come across it kind of like a scavenger hunt and find random things. So over here is TD Garden. This is the security checkpoint you would go through to get into TD Garden. I did not make TD Garden because that is way too ambitious for the purpose of this project. I'm just here to make what's relevant to the station itself and the look of it. And then over here you have the pro shops. So I just put a bunch of little armor stands so you can actually grab armor off of these stands. Have some of those, some bookshelves. And here's the checkout counter right here. So not too elaborate. And then over here we have Hub Hall, which is where you go into a bunch of little various restaurants that are in here. So I didn't name any of the restaurants in here, because they're different. They change sometimes. But overall, generally speaking, you got some counters here. You come down some stairs. You got a seating area with some benches. There's some flower pots along the edge. More seating areas, more restaurants. They have one of these restaurants in the middle. I believe it's some sort of bar. And I looked up at the ceiling. I realized there was some kind of funky pattern with either piping or it was wood. I believe it was wood. So I just kind of put in my own little twist to that pattern on the ceiling to give it that look. And over here, we have some more of those restaurants. And finally, an exit that actually does not lead into the snow biome, but more so leads down into the water and treed area. Okay, and continuing to the left, got the Dunkin' Donuts. So very easy. Just got the serving area there. You can take your order. In the back here, we got the counters, the kitchen, and the waiting area the employees only area for them to take their breaks. And then there's the manager's office. Door is locked. You'll need a button to get it open. But I do have a chest in there with some stuff. All right, and over here is the tickets and information area. I know that's more so kind of wrapped around this wall here, and then there's also a bathroom here. Ran out of space to make that based on how I made it, so I decided not to include it. Doesn't matter. It's not a huge thing. It doesn't really do much for the actual visuals. And over here's another exit. Now, this is the exit that I believe is supposed to be on another side of the station. Either this one I just came out of, or the one that's over by the Bass Pro Shops and TD Garden. So, obviously, we just got a good look there at the platforms, so we'll come to that in a sec here, but that entrance that I was talking about that's closer to TD Garden and Bass Pro Shops is this one. So I just have it leading up from the snow. You come in. This might look familiar if you've ever been here. You come into an open area. You got, big high walls on your left and right, a staircase in the middle. You go around the staircase. You can come straight into the North Station Terminal. Again, it's on the wrong side, so I, just the way it ended up looking, I felt it was best to have it over here. So there's a little convenience store leading in from the outside that you can go in. I don't know what's here, but I saw some, black or tinted windows, so I just decided to, keep it blocked off. Maybe that's a future store coming in. Over here on the right, there's another staircase leading up to this railing that you can walk around the edge. Now, I'm pretty sure there's restaurants up here and not what I actually put, but what I decided to do was just kind of make it like a hotel. So I have, a bed there, and you come in here and you have your own, private section of beds. What I just do? I just put that down? No. Okay. So, you got a bed, different colored beds. Kind of like your own little private sleeping area. And finally, up top here, you have the fancy restaurant. I'm not sure if that's actually what's up here. It could be a CVS for all I know. But that's at South Station, actually. But there's a restaurant that I put up here, a really fancy restaurant. I put in, not actually what this is, but, like a brown carpet floor, some mood lighting, colored tables and chairs to sit in, to get served at. And you get to look over the landscape out these windows. And I also decided to put in the kitchen right here. So we just have a variety of things and a chest. Also forgot to check out the views from one of the restaurants downstairs. The kitchen staff in that restaurant in the terminal actually get a nice little view while they're working. Yep, so here's a convenience store in the middle, by the way. Just, the counter, a couple chests of things. So here's the kitchen. Forgot to show that. So they get a nice little tinted window. Actually, personally, just from looking at this myself, this is like one of the coziest rooms I've ever made. Just the way it looks and how it looks out over the snow landscape, and it's nice and tight and narrow, and the lighting is good, so it's just kind of a nice little spot to hang out. And finally, we'll get over here to the actual platforms themselves. So we got them labeled. We got Rockport, Newburyport, Haverhill. The Downeaster line is a separate train track I built. So there's going to be 2 tracks on the Lowell line until the split at Wilmington, and then it'll go to 2 tracks again at Ballardvale, even though there's only 1. but it becomes 2 after that. And the Fitchburg line. So, as of right now, I have the Fitchburg, Lowell, the Fitchburg line, Lowell line, and half the Haverhill line done. And then I'll just have to make the Newburyport-Rockport line. So, the Fitchburg and Lowell line videos are coming soon. I will have those released probably about a week apart each. The Downeaster is included as a track up to Wilmington, of course. Haverhill I have made out to Wakefield. I'm just putting the final touches on Wakefield now. And then I'll go from there. The rest of it's pretty easy. Lawrence might take a little while to make because of its parking garage. But generally speaking, should be pretty easy after Wakefield. So, yeah, next time I put out a video, it'll be of the Fitchburg line. This one was a little longer because I had to show those updates I made, as well as explore this massive station. But yep, here's the outdoor look of the North Station area. It's in the snow biome, so there's going to be snow on the tracks, but, we can just clear it off time to time. It won't accumulate around the lights, at least. So, yeah, North Station, we'll get a little aerial view of it. It's not going to be accurate from an aerial view everywhere, mainly because of the way I built it exteriorly, if that's even a word. I don't know. But yeah, got the little overhang, then the rest of it's outside. Come up on the roof, all the lights for the interior are above showing. I got the glass looking down on that. So yeah, it's pretty massive. But I'm very proud of it. Took a while to make and, structuralize all that stuff, construct it. I believe I was working on North Station for a solid month. Not total for the amount of hours I put into it, but just generally hopping in like every day or so, perfecting it, making it all work. So yeah, there's North Station, and next video we are going to take a trek down the Fitchburg line, which is right here. First stop, first track on the left. So I'll see you then.